Hey everyone, this is Josh from before, and I'm here with McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Polka Dot Man from the Suicide Squad. And are we in agreement that this has got to be like one of the maybe top five all-time best superhero movie costumes, comic book movie costumes? I just think this is so rad, and I really think that James Gunn understands that sweet spot between cool, quote unquote, cool looking and kind of campy and stupid. I just that's fun to me. That's what makes a character like larger than life. And if you're like, I'm at the age like I'm in my 30s, so I've been like my whole life ever since like the first X-Men movie when they're like, what do you expect? Yellow spandex? As if they're somehow cooler than the original designs. The movies are supposed to be cooler or whatever. No, I don't think they are. I do expect yellow spandex. That's what they wear in the comics. And then they do first class, and the costumes in first class are out of control good, and they never, they were too embarrassed or afraid to go that hard ever again after that one. And it's a shame. Every superhero comic book costumes, I think, lean way too close to like tactical these days. And tactical is really cool and all, but it starts to make them look samey. Anyway, this design is so rad, and this is of all the figures in this wave, this is the one I'm most looking forward to playing with. So let's finally get him out of here. Rant over. So he's got King Shark's head, an abdomen, and some really rad looking accessories. So he smells good, feels good, lots of soft material here. Looks really good. And you know what I gotta say? I wasn't sure about this head sculpt at first because the face seemed a little long. But man, when you see it like that, and this is, I always come down and I say that I don't like what McFarlane does with their live action sculpts as much as the comic book source material, because they try to go too rigidly toward realistic and don't quite hit the mark. This, I think, is a more stylized rendition of David Dastmalchian and captures the likeness a lot better than, for example, this from the same wave. So I 100% think realism is overrated, and this is the approach they should have gone. Again, for example, they've made him way too tall, but it looks good. It makes it look like a more striking figure. So take that same sort of design inspiration and apply that to make John Cena's, guns and his chest a little more exaggerated. For the sake of making a more striking looking figure and not trying to hit this level of realism that they can't actually even execute. So, up and down, he didn't have a lot of, he's got side to side pretty good. Looks really cool with that collar. Tons of range in the arms. No butterfly, but they do have a little bit of play in here, which is just always nice for getting just the right body language on the poses that you want. Bicep cut. Oh, when I was looking at the face, I didn't mention this. That paint's off on the eye. You see that over here? It's not quite hidden. So I might have to find another one of these in the wild and do a switcheroo. Or double elbows have good range. His arms are nice and skinny, so even with his sort of polka dot shooter gauntlets on his arms, get it all the way up there. Ball joints are tucked back enough that he can still get all the range, but don't quite look as loud and obvious. All right, so here's the moment of truth for me, because I love, in theory, when they do these soft torsos with as little visible articulations cuts as possible, but sometimes they don't actually have the execution doesn't allow it to do much. But this one actually seems like it's got the best range. Yeah, and actually sticks in the positions that you move it in. That's, yeah, so this is the best torso execution in this wave, I think. It's got sculpted up underneath this in this soft material here, similar to how Last Night on Earth Batman was. He's got plenty of range in here. No thigh rotation, unfortunately. That's always and maybe a little bit of rotation if you get his legs clear up. If you move him a little bit. But generally I'm a big fan of the how they can get the hip rotation up here, but this one just didn't, they don't have it in there, unfortunately. Double knees are get up nice and tight. He's got these long, skinny legs. Really, really unfortunate that they got lazy with the paint colors down here. It's just, I mean, they need more variation. You know what I mean? Like, look, everything's too concentrated in one spot. I hate to call it something lazy, but that's lazy. And it's ball joints that are hidden under these boots. Still get some swivel. But forward and back is kind of, get it. If you get the back clear of the boot there like that, but front ways you can't. Toe articulation looks nice, feels nice. A little inhibited, the articulation in some spots, unfortunately. But let's get his accessories. So he has these goggles separate, which is really nice, a nice touch. They look good. Got the detail in them. Wouldn't have minded maybe one spot of paint just to give him a little bit more of detail there. That's missing a little bit. But you can put these down on his head, and I guess maybe the paint not. Man, that looks sharp. It looks really good, and it's just fun. Like, that's really cool. More accessories like this, please. That is fun as hell. Really well done on the goggles with these plastic pieces in the eyes. Can you see through there a little bit? They're translucent. Nice. So he has this extra gauntlet, and I didn't even realize it. This one on his right arm is open. This is closed, and then these kind of shutter little doors open. So for what I understand, this is meant to be swap. You can swap these out, but this is like either intentionally or unintentionally stuck to his arm. Like, if I peel this away, I can see it's either paint or glue that is keeping this stuck on here. I don't want to mess with that too much. That might be something I come back to. Like, it's got a little bit of give, and it's the way this Aquaman, like his pieces on his gauntlets in here were loose, soft material. But that's not given, so I don't know if that's, that quite, wasn't, that might be a QC issue, or I don't know, but I'm not gonna try that right now. And then we have a really rad accessory here, which is a big stream of polka dots shooting out. The way it's sculpted with all these little dots, I don't know if that would be cooler if all the dots were colored instead of these clear ones. They seem a little light on paint, is all. And so you have this really cool polka dot shooting action. I mean, yeah, I don't know about the clear. I'm not sure. Seems a little at odds with the visual, but I don't know. It's not terrible. It's not terrible at all. I love the idea. Here he is with the other characters from this wave. The height maybe actually does end up checking out. I thought he was a little tall. I do have his legs bent just so. But I think the way he shakes out next to Cena and Bloodsport here, I think it's actually all right. So this is the standout figure from this wave so far. Like I said, I don't care for the live action figures as much from McFarlane. They just don't quite end up having the surprise fun factor in hand, and just quite aren't quite as satisfying as some of the more stylized figures based on like comic book sources. And like the rest of the figures from this wave, the paint is just missing a little bit of attention. So keeps it from really hitting that doing justice to the sculpts as it could, or complementing the sculpts as much as it could. So now that I've opened up all 4 of these, the next one will be the King Shark Build-A-Fig. I will see you on that video. Thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you next time. Bye.